Good evening, everyone. We are not talking about politics today, I promise. We are talking fitness, questions, and giving you our answers.
Indeed. Jake, do you want to give the intro? Because I'm just letting the guys know that we are live.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's fine. So, welcome back, everyone, to tonight's evening of the podcast with myself, Jake, and my lovely co-host Lewis. Today we're going to be doing a similar style of the podcast that Lewis was doing last week whilst I was away, which is a Q&A style podcast today. So we have reached out to our amazing members of Tribe. They have sent us over lots and lots of questions. So we're just going to make our way through those today and just give you all the knowledge that we possibly can. So then you can take it away into your training sessions, into your lifestyles, and ultimately become better and more educated. The important thing there, more educated. How are you doing today,
man?
Guys? You all good?
Good, dude. It's hot in this room, though.
I feel that. I've got a fan on next to me, and it's like just blowing hot air into my face.
Oh, mate. The more I've been gone through the last 2 weeks, I've realised that, like, I love the heat, but only when we're set up for the heat. In different countries, it's fine, because there's aircon everywhere. In the UK, we get it so infrequently, nobody knows what aircon is.
That's not what UK homes are built for, man. I mean, you go to like Florida and stuff. Like the reason why they're raised off the ground is so hot air can pass through them. Bro, us UK homes were built for the heat. So
is that a thing?
Yeah. That's why when you go to Florida, like some of their houses are raised off the ground. Yeah, that's why they.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
I know, mate. Our houses are literally built to keep in heat, which is why you don't see AC in anyone's house. Wow, and if you do, then they're on a pretty good wage.
Houses in Florida are primarily raised to mitigate flood risks from storm surges, heavy rainfall, and hurricanes.
And also hot air. Trust me, I've seen it.
I'm sure that is probably on there as well. Dude, honestly, I'm sure there's something.
Just put it into ChatGPT, because then it will give you the answer that I'm looking for.
It'll just tell you what you want. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So please do.
I always get it, like every morning I try and get myself pumped with a motivational chat. I'm like, ChatGPT, am I big? And then in brackets I put, just tell me I'm big. Close bracket.
My name is Lewis Davis, big strong man.
Yeah, he hasn't even seen me. It just tells me I'm massive.
Yeah.
It's great.
Can you send me a picture for reference? No, I will not send you a picture for reference.
No. Yeah. Just imagine a white Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
That's why I look exactly the same. Mr. Olympia 8 times over. Could have been. Just can't be bothered to turn up.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, should we dive into some of these questions then? If you want to make your way down through them.
Yeah, man, let's do it. So we're going to go through all these questions here. I've got quite a few actually, so I'm going to try and take them as they've been asked. So we're going to start off with the first one. This music has got some really like crackly stuff in the background, which is really off-putting me. I'm just going to change that. I don't like that.
Like if you were listening to it whilst it was raining outside, sat next to the window.
It's not a vibe.
No.
Not a vibe.
Or you left your TV on in like the 2000s and you had no HD.
Best time to be alive, brother. Best time to be alive. Right. Okay. So, questions wise then. So the first one up was Vicky. Why do different gyms' weights feel different, and does it have any effect on progress? Jake, I'll let you take away this question.
I mean, to be fair, I've been to some gyms and the weight may have felt slightly different. If you're talking about like weight plates themselves, some gyms may have like
I think she's referenced for like machines.
Oh, okay. Machines wise then, that can come down to like quite a few variables then. How much weight is on each plate itself. Also like the mechanics of the machine. For example, like our cable machine takes away some of the weight because the cable passes through like 3 different rotators. I'm just going to call them rotators, but you know what I mean? Where the cable feeds through, whereas like you do a cable push, you do a tricep push down on the cable machine, you can probably go quite heavy. You do it on the lat pull down, and then you suddenly realize, oh my God, I can only do like a third of the weight that I've done before. Just physics. I can't really go into physics. I don't know too much about how machines are made, but that's kind of like the only difference I've realized. Obviously, the like age of equipment as well. If it's like a brand spanking new machine, it'll probably feel slightly smoother than an older machine. But I mean, typically, doesn't really make that much of a difference from what I've experienced, in my opinion. The weight itself, other variables come down to like how the machine's actually built. But yeah, not really that much difference, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it is literally pulleys, isn't it? Yeah. So like you got like if you've got like a machine and there's 3 different pulleys, you know, little rings, they're like carabiners or like I don't know, they're just like cable rings where the cable passes through, takes a bit of slack. So on most machines, you can kind of gauge how I gauge whether or not a weight's going to be light or not is generally looking at how many pulleys are actually on the machine. So if there's like 4 that the cable passes through, I'm like, well, the 40 kilos that I was lifting on my cable machine with 2 is not going to feel the exact same way. And then you can make a judgment based off of that. But in terms of progress, realistically, it's hard. Will you make more progress or will it impact progress? I think not really. Not if it's infrequently, because one would hope that you're generally always in a similar gym, right? So let's say if you trained elsewhere and you came back to Tribe and Tribe was your baseline, you will always have that odd gym session where you can figure out where progress really is, and that will kind of give you that baseline foundation. So if you went to another gym and you came back and now your weights are exactly the same or they progressed at Tribe, then you're all good. If you're consistently bouncing between gyms, then maybe, but at that point, if you're programming for multiple different gyms, you probably just program more free weight based exercises, which would have less of an impact because, you know, a weight plate is a weight plate, a dumbbell's a dumbbell, basically. But yeah, that not really, it shouldn't impact your progress. And Vicky, specifically the person that's asking, that won't impact progress at all because she's, you know, away for a week and then back here for like 8. So, you know, it's no issue at all.
Yeah. Also, like generally, if you are sort of training between different gyms, you can kind of get a gauge as to how much you've lifted prior, and you know how much you can then apply in a different gym. Had the lovely experience of going to a pure gym over the weekend.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, some of the machines, they just felt different. Weight-wise, it was pretty similar, but they just kind of felt different on how, I don't know, much room I had to sit on or like where the pad positioning is on like the leg extension, for example. So there's not too much difference.
Pure gyms are so basic, aren't they? They're just, I mean, they're fine. I use them when I go away because literally if we're away, there's a pure gym everywhere. And they're just easy and they're cheap for a day pass. But you go in there and there's zero atmosphere. It is literally like they paint the walls with the intention of just making it mid.
Yeah. It's also the frustration of, and again, it's not to like toot our own horn or like boost egos or anything, but I'm sure being in and amongst Tribe, we are constantly on the members of like correction, for example. Like, you know, have you tried this to then make this better? Like we're on it all the time, 100%. Like if we go downstairs and someone's doing something wrong, we are obviously we approach them in like the nicest way possible and be like, oh, just like adjust this. You go to a pure gym and you see someone doing something wrong and it's like, why is no one helping you? And that was the frustration part for me because I can see members of staff going around putting weight plates away, making sure that the gym is tidy. Cool, perfect. That takes 10 minutes. But there's a guy on a Smith machine doing split squats and he is literally rapid, like pacing through them and not doing the correct technique. And I'm like, that's where your energy should be towards. Like, otherwise, you know, he could get injured in a split second and then he can't gym for like the next 2 months. And that was the frustrating part for me. But, and also, yeah, just the vibe, man. It's just not there. It's just not there. Private gyms is where it's at. Like, Tribe's where it's
at. Yeah, Tribe's where it's at. Good save.
Thank you. Oh, I just got £5 into my bank account.
Next question. So next one is a bit of a funny one from Ian, which was, what's your feelings on cinnamon bagels with bacon? Bro, why, dude? He's not vibing with that. Have you ever tried is it like pancakes with like
chicken,
maple syrup and bacon?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah,
vibe, down for that. For that. I can't say I've ever thought to put bacon on a cinnamon bagel, so I can't give my actual verdict on whether it's good. It just seems wrong.
I'll try it.
Bacon cakes with, of course you would, bro. You've eaten way worse. But but you know, that, I mean, each to their own. If you like it, then you like it. It's not something that's at the top of my agenda or on my menu of choice. But what about you?
Depends what pancakes you're going for. What pancakes you're going for? Like nice
No,
homemade pancakes, or are you going for
no,
like?
it's bacon on a cinnamon bagel, bro.
Oh, I feel like it's
All
just too
right, we'll
much
move on
going
to
on,
the
mate.
next one.
There's too much going on.
It's too much
We'll
going
stick to
on.
our chicken and rice and our mince. I
Yeah,
think.
bro.
I think that's what we'll stick to.
All right. All right. So next
Appreciate the
question.
Ian.
Yeah, nice one. Always really beneficial. So the next one. How to navigate cardio and weight training in any normal working day when on plan, when you have a physically demanding job, young children at home, and how to have that balance without getting burnt out. Well, so okay, I'm just gonna like go off the cuff with this one real quick. So there needs to become it's hard to be able to give a nice answer to this one because it's tough, because the human body is capable of a lot, right? The human body is capable of I mean, the one thing that the human body can do is adapt very quick. That's why we put on muscle in the gym. This adaptation inside of the human body is very fast, and it comes what you've got there, where you're doing weightlifting and cardio and your work and you're looking after the kids, is manageable, because there are people out there that do that and have only known that for years and years and years, and it's doable. And you know, again, I work with carpenters who are on roofs all day. I mean, even like Cookie, for example, was a prime example of working like 8 hours physical non-stop, going up and down ladders, carrying heavy loads and stuff like that. He would still come to the gym to it's cardio. Again, didn't have kids, but but again, I think there's this level of, you need to, if you have such a busy life like that, you have to be on your organizational skills. There needs to become this level of absolute like rigidity with your calendar, which means that you're in bed. If your kids are going to bed at 8 or half 8 or 9, you're in bed by half 9, and you're getting to sleep early because you need your sleep, because sleep is the biggest performance enhancer that you could ever imagine. You're getting your sleep so you can get up early before anyone's awake, so you can get your gym session done, which you are only going to allot 45 to 50 minutes for. And then cardio, maybe you attach it to the end of that for like 15, 20 minutes or something like that. So it's an hour and a quarter of your day where you're looking after you, and then you just crack on with your day from that and it's already done. Or you make that time in the evening, which would then mean you have to then obviously lie in a little bit later in the morning, but you just have to stick to schedules. And I think for most people, it's one of those things where you get caught up, don't you? Like we do it all the time. You set out an hour to do a gym session, and because we didn't have kids and we didn't have those obligations yet, but we'll set out an hour and then that hour will stretch into an hour and a half in the gym. Like, however, when we've been busy, it's like we need to get it done, and we'll go and we'll get it done in an hour. And for people with a schedule like that, it needs to be very schedule focused. Okay, you can have a chat in between sets, but the main thing in your head is, I need to get the work done and I need to get out within the hour, and not stick around for a chat, not stick around for the social. And there will be days where you can, but most of the days you can't. You just need to get what you need to get done and then move on.
Yeah, there's it's just putting yourself first at the end of the day, really, isn't it? And your priorities and what matters to you.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, to a degree. I don't think it's like necessarily putting yourself first. It's just putting everything into balance and sticking to the balance, right? So like, yeah, cool. You're spending an hour of time to look after your health and to get you to a goal that makes you feel confident, which allows you to be better in all other aspects of your life. Because your cardio should make you more energetic for your job. It should give you more balanced energy levels. The weight training will help you with your appearance, which will carry over to more confidence. But again, you're only allotting that time so you can give your time to the other people that matter in the rest of the day. When it starts stretching over that time that you've allotted for yourself, well, now it's starting to become a little bit selfish because you're eating away at the time that you've dedicated to other things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think once people understand the positives of not even sort of like the gym, but just like a routine can give you, and then they carry it on forward. They've carried on those good habits and they're sort of accustomed to it now. I think further down the line, once they've, just pushed through it and gone through it, they soon see it as like, oh no, this isn't actually an issue anymore. This is actually quite doable. I just needed to sort of get going and start, and life's fine now. Life's comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. But honestly, the value of sitting down and just making a calendar, like setting a calendar out for the week and literally being like, this is the time for the gym, this is the time for my kids, this is the time for work, this is when I'm in bed. And then having that, for me, I use my Google Calendar, and my Google Calendar prompts me. So like even have things like self-care and relationship zone, which like pops up and prompts me on like a Sunday from 2 p.m. I am literally spending time with Maddie. Like I have to. And I'm like, okay, if I was going to start a social media post or something, I'm like, nope, that's off till Monday. This is my time for Well, it's Maddie's time now. I'm not on my time anymore. It's Maddie's time. So having something like that will definitely directly benefit you with your scheduling. And the biggest thing as well with a lot of guys that suffer with energy levels in physical jobs, the body can do it, but you have to look after recovery. And someone that's that busy, you have to be on your recovery massively, and that means not sacrificing your sleep quality. And that means actually making sure you're getting the adequate, again, being on plan should be even more beneficial because we're looking out for your micronutrient needs throughout the day and the energy balance. So you're having the right food, but the one thing that we can't control is your sleep, and sleep is absolutely crucial to giving you the energy to do what you need to do. And there was this study done where it was like, I think, what was it, 4 to 5 days of 4 hours of sleep per night upregulates leptin and ghrelin by 35%, which is your satiety and hunger hormone, which basically means that if you don't sleep enough, you are going to be hungry for high glycemic foods, which are like simple carbohydrates. You will just be because you're tired. It's not because you're hungry, it's because you're tired, and your leptin and ghrelin response is ramped through the roof. So you just need to make sure that you're getting enough sleep to regulate that so your diet doesn't feel hard to follow. You're not craving the cupboard. And throughout the day, you can just function and you're okay. And as long as you're getting enough sleep. And I know for me, recently, I've been massively on my sleep schedule. You know that because I'm getting my check-ins done earlier in the day and getting everything sorted earlier on. And the benefits for me psychologically from going to bed at the right time and switching off have been massive. Not only in energy levels, but like performance in the gym and how I am around other people and how I articulate what I say has been huge. So definitely emphasis on sleep on that one and get your calendar sorted.
Yeah, 100%. Going off of what you just said about leptin and ghrelin there, the one catalyst for why people then respond using food for like emotional support is social media, man, because it listens to every fucking thing that you say. You say food once and suddenly I've got 20 Instagram reels on my fucking feed of people making bomb ass fucking food. And I'm like, great, cool. Mix that with a little less sleep and a spike in hormones, and it's a recipe for disaster. So
yeah,
it's like domino effect, really, isn't it? It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, when I was in prep last year, bro, honestly, my phone, dude, was just like, hi guys, my name's Aaron. I'm going to take you on a full day of eating. I'm like, what? I don't even know who you are, Aaron. How else did you?
But I'm so invested, and I'm going to judge everything that you eat.
Yeah, I'm just going to live my life through you right now, and that's basically it. But anyway, so that is that one. So the next question is, on the occasional days with work commitments, is it okay to swap meals on the plan round? I.e., starting work at 5 a.m., no time to make porridge, and having it later at work. Jake, do you want to answer this one? Take it away.
It's interesting this actually, because obviously we've been using an educational platform, ProQ, to basically help us as coaches. And I was running through their module and their segment on protein today and how important protein timing is for like intake. Now, you've got leucine, which is the amino acid in your in protein, which basically allows you to build muscle. Now, there is a pathway in your body called the mTOR pathway, which means you basically need to activate that every 3 hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours, with regular protein intake. So then recovery and growth becomes a lot easier. There are sort of, I'd say, times in the day where that sort of spikes and you need that protein intake. So, which is why I'll always disagree with fasted workouts. because you need fuel from the get-go, really. So if you then stall meal one for like 6 hours or like 5 hours, you mentioned it the other day, Lewis, like one thing can offset your day, and then suddenly you've got 7 hours to get 5 or 6 meals in. And in terms of digestion, it just won't work well. In terms of you utilizing those nutrients, just won't work well as well. Which is why we will always recommend people, and we'll always try and get people to do meal prep. This is why meal prep is so important, because it sets you up for the day. So say yes, you have to get up at 5 a.m. and you've got a busy work day. You can literally take that porridge with you on your commute, or you can have it beforehand, and you've had your protein intake there. Okay, so you're utilizing that period of time where your mTOR pathway is active, so then you can absorb protein and therefore recover, grow, get stronger. You've got energy throughout the day. So as easy as it is to swap meals around, the reason why us as coaches give people meal plans with set meals is because we are aware of that pathway, which again needs to be utilized, which is why you need regular protein intake throughout the day. Every 2 to 3 hours, you need a meal with at least 40 grams of protein. Well, I'd say like 25 to 40 grams of protein at least. So holding back those meals, the negative is you're tired. You're probably still tired. You probably got less energy, and you're not utilizing those nutrients. You're not activating that pathway sooner. As easy as it is to sort of hold off food, I'm a massive, massive example of someone that can just ignore food, but then understanding that and how it works within your body has kind of made me think like, oh shit, yeah, I need to actually eat regularly now. So yeah, there you go. That's my response.
We had a moment today, didn't we?
We did have a moment today.
We had a moment today, bro. I was like, I said to Jake, I was like, we've been at work all day, and I went, I've got to run over to Fit House to go grab a supplement. Do you want to go for a walk? Because we've been in an office all day. And he was like, oh, bro, I've only had like one meal today. This was like 4 p.m.
This is quarter to six.
And I was there like, what is wrong with you? And I like cleared the pathway. I was like, upstairs, now, go eat. Now, what the fuck are you doing?
What did you say?
I was so angry.
You were saying, don't touch Jake. He's at a catabolic state.
Don't touch Jake. He's catabolic. Any kind of, like if someone taps you, then there's going to be some kind of, muscle repairing process that your body can't repair. And we lose all biceps, bro.
I'm gonna have dents all over me, mate.
That's it for you, bro. That's sit on stage. You're just tricep and no bicep, But no, like Jake is right, 100%. What you're asking is if you can move your meals around. For me personally, your body has this rhythm which it gets into with processing food. So you can absolutely do that on the odd day. Like, as an odd one off here or there, it's no issue at all. If you're stressed and you need to move things back a little bit, I'm okay with that. But generally, you don't want that to be all the time, because your digestion is set up for what you're having on a daily basis. Your body's very good at building a routine, and your stomach will expect food at a certain time and expect a certain quality. And what we do is we space out our macronutrients throughout the day to be able to give you the best effect throughout the day from an adherence profile as well. So if you imagine in the morning, you have protein to stimulate the mTOR pathway, which is what Jake just mentioned there, but you probably have a level of fats, because fats slow down the absorption of protein, the absorption of carbohydrates you're consuming in the morning, which then allows for this steady energy release throughout most of the day, which is kind of like your foundation baseline. If you're not having porridge in the morning and you've shifted it back to a certain time of the day, let's say, for example, if you move that back to like 4 or 5 p.m. because you decided to swap your meals around, you have meal 2 first, etc. What you're then doing is you're potentially having like a slow digesting meal at nighttime. And it's like, well, why would you need that to be slow digesting if you go to bed? So like you kind of want to make sure you do stick with the schedule to some degree, but obviously there will be some days that won't be perfectly linear, and that's okay. As long as it's an odd day here and there and it's infrequent, then there's no issue. Okay, but ideally we put these diet plans together with the right macronutrients, with the right micronutrient profiles for the specific time of day, so that you can get the most out of it. Next one, Nath. Will weight training and lowering your body fat alone dramatically improve that? Hang on. Will weight training and lowering your body fat alone dramatically improve that? Improve that out of breath feeling during activities? Or is that something you'd work on in a more cardio-focused plan afterwards? 100% will help. 100%. Like, fitness is broad, yeah? And we've spoke about this before, haven't we, Jake? Where, like, people have this kind of thing of like, fitness is basically seen as running for most. It's like, well, yeah, but can you run a 5K? I could, but I wouldn't be very good at it because I'm not a runner. But it's the same as like, if you ask me to do some bar work as a gymnast, I'm not going to be a gymnast either. But if you ask a runner to do what I do on a daily basis, weightlifting wise, they'd be fucked about 2 exercises in and want to throw up in a toilet. Like, fitness is broad. Fitness just basically means what brings your heart rate up and then brings it back down again to improve circulation around the body, improve oxygen flow. And obviously anything that restricts that process, like body fat, obviously will cause a hindrance to that. So yes, with body fat coming off, you will be fitter for weightlifting. And that will carry over to you being less out of breath through day-to-day life 100%, because you have more ability to be able to take oxygen in without it being restricted, in terms of going to the lungs, in terms of, blood flow across the body. It will just be better. Your blood, that's why people, when they weightlift, their blood pressure tends to come down. So yeah, it will definitely improve with that. It depends on what phase of weight training you're in as well. So if you're in a cut 100%, you will end up fitter. Like, I'm always at my fittest at the end of a prep. Like, you put me on like 50 minutes on a treadmill walking stupidly fast at high incline, and I will beast that thing and just like be absolutely fine. I'm in an off season right now, so naturally I'm like 25 pounds heavier. So yeah, my fitness isn't as good, and yeah, I get out of breath more, but that's kind of a byproduct of just carrying more weight. So as that weight comes off in my next prep, I'll be fitter again, if that makes sense. So yeah, you don't have to do like cardio to be fit. You can be fit from weight training because you are effectively doing the same thing, just in shorter bursts of elevating your heart rate up and bringing it back down again.
I'll give you a prime example. When Craig signed up on board, he had quite poor asthma. I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying this, but he had really poor asthma. We got him in, and I think about a month later, he put on the bottom of his check-in, he was like, asthma hasn't flared up at all. Haven't had to use my inhaler once. And I'm like, cool. That is just a byproduct of body fat, shifting off your body, and therefore you are lighter. You're more agile. You can move a bit more freely, and you're not reliant on your inhaler as much to assist you with just like normal day-to-day stuff, like walking a longer distance. You're just lighter, and that is from the gym. That's purely from lifting weights.
Yeah, man. The best example as well is if anybody in the gym, if you go and whack a 10-kilo weighted vest on and go about your day, just go about the gym session that you're currently in with a 10-kilo weighted vest on, you'll quickly see how much of an impact that additional weight has on just everything that you do. Mm-hmm. So imagine removing that. Yeah. It's mental. So yeah, it definitely will. You're just getting leaner and body fat coming down, you get fitter. And no, you don't have to do loads of cardio to be able to get fit. You can get fit from weightlifting. We obviously include a little bit of cardio in our plans for generic fitness-based purposes as well. Like from a blood flow standpoint, obviously there is a lot to be said of like weightlifting is up and down in terms of heart rate going up and then back down again, which is very similar to like sprint work. Sprinters are very fit, but you do need a consistent elevation in heart rate to a degree just to optimize blood flow and get your heart better at pumping blood throughout the body. So that's why we generally would, at least even for me, I'm doing like 20 minutes of less in an off season just to make sure my heart is a-okay at pumping blood around the body. But yeah, you don't need to do that to get fit. It's just a consistent elevation. Again, you could get incredibly fit if you wanted to. You wouldn't get much progress in terms of strength if you just lower down your rest periods and your weight work. So, but not saying that's optimal at all, especially if you're trying to build muscle, because you would never be able to lift heavy enough. But you could do it that way as well. So the next thing is, what strategies do you use to help female clients shift their focus from the scale to performance-based goals like PRs and increased energy?
Ooh,
that was a good question.
That was a very good question.
Nice one, Tilly. That was a good question. I'm just going to quickly share my view on it, and then I'll pass it over to you.
Go for it. Yeah.
I think personally, I really like for women, it's about empowerment as well, isn't it? Yeah. Like for decades, women have been told that they have to be like, there is this weird perception back in probably the mid 1900s, early 1900s, that women have to be fragile. And it actually, like, all of the hard work has to be done from the man. If you're not fragile as a woman, that's masculine, it's terrible, this, that, and the other. And actually, like, women lost a lot of their power from that. Women can be phenomenally strong. I mean, we know women that deadlift more than men, you know, and they look incredible. They still look feminine. They still look incredibly feminine. And I think getting a female client to get on board with, look, we're going to lose body fat. Like, that's my job, to get you to lose body fat. You need to just leave it with me. The scale weight is the scale weight, but as long as, again, scale weight can be impacted by if you've gained 2 pounds of muscle and you've dropped 2 pounds of fat, and the scale weight stays exactly the same. If you're basing your confidence off the scale weight going down, you ain't gonna like the look of that scale, even though you've made considerable progress. So ultimately, if you put all of your faith in me, and my job as your coach is to get you to drop body fat, I will tell you when we're not, and I will tell you when we are. Don't go by the scale weight, go by feedback. Go by feedback. Well, your focus should be on becoming as strong as possible and becoming an independent bad bitch. Someone that if you were cornered in an alleyway by someone trying to mug you, and they're like, ha, she's a woman, she's gonna give me a wallet, and you just fucking, you pick them up and you deadlift them for a set of reps.
Not fight back. If you lift them up,
bro, use them as a workout. Use them as a means to get adequate hypertrophy for your hamstrings and glutes. That's what I'm saying. But if you're strong enough to be able to you know, just be able to hold yourself and be able to give yourself the confidence that you could, in fact, you could back yourself, yeah, in the confrontation. You're like, you know what, I'm fucking strong, yeah. I'm strong as fuck, and it breeds another level of confidence. And as soon as you start to really enjoy those PRs coming, and as soon as you start to really enjoy the PBs coming, as soon as you start to really enjoy the process of just becoming strong and becoming confident in what you can do in the gym, the weight just sorts itself out, dude. Because you're just, now you're eating because you're not eating because you're hoping the scale weight is going to come down. You start to shift that mindset towards eating to be able to make sure that you get those PBs in the gym. And then that is going to inspire you more so than anything else. And like we do it all the time, like in the off season, Jake, like we're so heavily focused on, like, we want the scale weight to go up. So we have had years like that. And sometimes even for you, when you've done your check-in, the scale weight hasn't gravitated up. And I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, at the end of the day, you know, like, you're stronger. You look better. Don't worry about it. You couldn't have lifted this weight last week, and now we can. You know, your execution on these exercises is so much better, and that's going to carry over to more muscle tissue. Sure, the scale weight hasn't shifted in the direction that we want it to, but don't worry about it. Leave it with me. Let's increase calories this week, and let's continue to move forward. So, you know, focus on the performance, and as soon as you do that, then, you know, you're 9 months in, you're 80 kilos stronger on your deadlift, you're strong as fuck, you feel great, and also the body fat's gone. Oh, awesome, brilliant.
Yeah. There's other variables in play, isn't there? You know, which is why for the majority of the time, weight is quite irrelevant to, well, I wouldn't say irrelevant, but definitely down the bottom of the list in terms of what we look at as coaches. And for women especially, if you're concerned about the scale weight going up, if visuals wise you look the same as you were last week and you were lighter last week, and you know that's a massive positive because you've put on more muscle tissue and you can lift more. Like you mentioned, there is this really odd kind of stereotype that women fear the scale weight going up and guys kind of fear the scale weight going down. But at the end of the day, it's a performance base, right? If you're lifting more and if visually you look good, then what is the issue? It's just a number at the end of the day, which again, based off visuals, doesn't necessarily have that much meaning behind it. And it's one of the beauties of why sort of like I fell in love with bodybuilding really, is that it kind of goes into a really deep anatomical level of visuals, and it's very much like, you know, we lower in body fat, is more muscle been developed, etc. So focusing heavy on the scale is just going to put you in a negative mindset, I think, and I've experienced that. Lewis has probably experienced that.
Yeah, mad. Like,
there's just there's just so many variables that are more important.
Yeah, and sometimes just going back to the basics, yeah, like going back to statistics. Sometimes you have to, like, not look at the scales and look at what other information you've got that is probably way more valuable. So, like, if you could not move a weight the previous week and now you can, and the scale weight hasn't moved, in order to be able to move that weight, you would have to have accrued muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is not made up of air, it is made up of weight. So if our scale weight is exactly the same as the previous week, and we now have more muscle tissue added on the body, that probably means we've lost body fat, to be honest. Because if it was just muscle tissue being added, then the scale weight would have gone up. But it hasn't. It stayed the same. So, like, don't worry about it. And equally, on the flip side, if the scale weight does go up, but you're stronger, but actually your visuals, your photos will tell you everything, who cares? Innit? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? It's a visual-based thing. Like, if you're doing it for aesthetics, you should be focused on the photos, not really about anything else. So just let us worry about it, man. Just let us worry about it. We'll tell you. We'll tell you if you're not dropping enough body fat, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that helps. Right. Next one. Moving on to, Neil's got 3. What fitness trend do you think is overrated?
What fitness trend do I think is overrated? I'm not too sure, really. I don't really keep up with. I don't know. Fitness trends. What fitness? Name some fitness trends.
I don't know either, being honest. I don't know. Unless I see them in front of me.
I think based off of social media and what we see content-wise, I think I'm going to talk about Diamond Gym because Diamond Gym is trending, right? Diamond Gym is trending. So I'm going to just...
For those who don't know what Diamond Gym is as well, Diamond Gym is like an American gym. It's like all about bullying people during their exercise. So they're just hard as fuck, which completely, there's definitely a market that are into that, but it's like excessive. If you don't die during their gym sessions, it's not a good gym session.
And you can say it's a trending topic, right? How many influencers have gone over to Diamond Gym to try and like push their limits and see how far they can go? I've seen like Will Tennyson's gone over there, Larry Wills has gone over there, all these bodybuilders, powerlifters, YouTube influencers, etc. They have gone over there, and I love and I hate it. It's like Marmite. It's like I love this idea of going to a gym and just being pushed beyond like my complete limits and like you said, kind of being bullied. But at the same time, I do not want the negative effects that will have. Being bullied for one.
Also, like, training that hard. Like, I'm all for a hard set, 100%, dude. I love the grind. I love the graft. But they're doing it on exercises you just physically do not need to do it on. Like, if you're doing like a really taxing exercise, if you're doing the leg press and you're going for a PB and you need like 6 to 8 reps with good execution, and you get to 4 and your legs are already shaking, you're going to need that level of like, shut the fuck up, get on with it sort of vibe, and to be able to achieve that personal best, because you have previously not done this weight and now it's a PB. So your all is in this set. Do you need to be doing that on calf raises? Do you need to be doing, like, in your rest periods, 20 pulse press-ups just for the sake of doing pulse press-ups? Probably not. And actually, what you're doing is you're causing muscle damage, and that's not going to correlate over to muscle growth. Like, the whole goal of our training and what we're doing for aesthetics is to apply adequate mechanical tension on the muscle, not to break it down. And I think people have this kind of theory that the more they hurt, the more muscle they build. When in reality, the more you hurt, the more fatigue builds, the more inflammation builds, which can actually put a massive stop on the muscle building process. Like, sometimes people push too hard, too consistently, and actually what you're doing is you're taking away from the progress that you're making. When in reality, if you backed off and just focused on, sure, 1 to 2 of those exercises, grafting that hard where you need to, but if you were just actually doing the other exercises to a point where, okay, cool, it was still hard, but you got a personal best and that was fine. Like, you can do that. Like, it doesn't have to be a screaming set. It doesn't have to be random burpees in between sets and stuff. I feel like the only real applicable place for that style of training is, people go on about like Navy SEAL training.
Yeah.
Okay, as a Navy SEAL, a lot of guys looking on Navy SEAL training and they're like, yeah, man, love that. It's like, dude, their whole idea of they're not training for aesthetics. They're training because they're going to be out at war. So they have to keep moving. I completely get that. Like, I'm so on board with that because, dude, if you're being attacked from every side and you have to be awake for 36 hours and you cannot sit down, you are going to have to get used to pushing past your limits and keeping moving, because you're not just looking after you are part of a unit, so you are responsible for 4 other guys with you as well. So you've got to understand how to be able to push past those limits to be able to make sure that you stay alive and the people with you stay alive too. But when it comes to aesthetics, we are not at war. We're not going to the fucking middle of I don't know, Ukraine or wherever. We're not there. You're doing it to look good on the beach. So ultimately, with that, train the best way to do that. Unless you're planning to go to war, then okay, then train that way. I don't mind, but you got to train the right way for your goal, and you've got to sometimes be realistic. Everybody loves. We spoke about before that Rocky Balboa scene where it's like a montage of him getting up early, grinding through. You're a boxer, dude. Yeah, of course, absolutely. You could graft it. You're in a ring for potentially 11, 12 rounds, so you're gonna have to learn to fight past that breaking point. But for aesthetics, you don't need that. You don't need
my introduction to bodybuilding, probably similar to other people's introduction to bodybuilding, was this amazing like golden era, right? So you've got like the Ronnie Commons, you've got the no, not the Ronnie Commons, sorry. You've got like the Arnie. You've got
man.
Tom Platz. Like, thank you.
So just talk like that for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, please do. And Tom Platz for me was like this guy with like the perfect fucking legs. I mean, he's literally known as like, what was he known as? It's not Quadzilla, it's something else, isn't it?
I
like
don't know.
Gold Quads or something. I don't know, something like that. And his training style was relentless. This guy had actual hypnotists come in and hypnotize him to tell him that if you do not do X amount of sets, then you are going to, you're going to die. And he would do it. And there's montage videos of him screaming and, like fucking retching in the gym. And it's like, my idea of training legs then was like, right, I'm going to fucking do 100 leg extensions and then 100 hamstring curls.
Did you actually have you listened to his podcast? Now
I haven't listened to his podcast. No.
So with that one as well, right? So again, you saw those videos. He did train like that. But he openly said in his podcast, I'd train legs once every 21 days, dude. Because he just had to recover from that level of training.
Yeah.
People expect to do that every week. And Tom Platz would do it every 21 days.
I was fucking one of them. 16-year-old me doing 100 leg extensions and screaming in a gym for leg day, and then going back on my next leg day a week after, still fucking sore, doing it again, and then understanding that my legs aren't growing because, if anything, I'm just breaking them down. It's like,
the
second I stepped into the gym and then we hopped on plan, I was like, oh my god, I've actually got a structured plan now with adequate amounts of stimulus. No way, leg growth. It's like, no fucking shit. Shit. Training smarter.
Who knew taking the foot off the gas would actually cause you to gain more muscle?
It's mental.
Yeah. And I think sometimes as well, like, dude, when people hear that sort of stuff, like Tom Platz would train like that every 21 days, you get like the younger lads, especially younger lads, that they're like, well, I could do more. And you're like, yeah, but dude, that's like me saying, like, if I took up sprinting tomorrow and I heard that Usain Bolt does an all-out sprint once a week, and I'm like, but I could do it twice a week. And then it's like, okay, you're saying that you're better than the best sprinter in the world? Yes. What right do you have to be able to try and up ante the best sprinter in the world? So sometimes, with people, man, it's like you just have to sometimes put your foot on the brakes. And like you said, for you, when you joined, consistent struggling with gaining muscle tissue. As soon as we actually, like, again, in your off season, we reduced effort we actually took you down to like 4 days a week, and then you gained more muscle off 4 days a week than you did on 5 days a week. And it's like sometimes you actually need to put your foot on the brakes, because actually that's where the progress lies. So working harder doesn't always mean like, that you have to batter yourself. And again, prime example as well, because I know people can sometimes get confused, because you see some people in the golden era, like you say, working that hard to absolute oblivion. Dorian Yates, prime example, would literally scream his heart out on a hack squat, yeah. But on the byproduct of that, not as a byproduct or on the byproduct, but what you didn't see was Dorian Yates would train for 15 minutes. Like, he would do short bouts of extreme intensity on one exercise and he'd go home. So, like, yeah, okay, cool. He trained that hard, but he understood that training that hard on an exercise that's highly taxing, like a hack squat, would generate so much fatigue that he couldn't then do his bicep curls. It was a leg session. So his leg extensions, his hamstring curls, his glute drive, his abduction. He couldn't do all of that. So he had to just dedicate himself to one, and that worked for Dorian. So, like, there has to be this push and pull, yeah, where, like, if you want to train like they do at Diamond Gym, you can't do that for an hour and a half every day, because you ain't going to make any progress. You could train like that for 15 minutes, but again, the likelihood you're going to end up like Dorian Yates is very low, because Dorian is Dorian. Dorian is just like, would do a hack squat and activate all of the muscles in his legs. And there's a lot to be said about the neurological pathway of your brain connecting to muscle tissue. And a lot of the time when people train that intense, they burn themselves out to a point of fatigue where, sure, you may still be doing leg extensions, but your brain and your quadriceps, that connection has become so blurred because there's such a buildup of lactic acid and byproducts of muscle breakdown that there's now, like, if you imagine there's a nice clear connection, there's now all this fluff in between, and there's not really much of a connection. But the one connection it can connect with always is your ligaments and tendons. So now, and you see, you've done this, Jake, and I've done it before. Sure, you can train that intense. You'll probably get the sessions done. But fuck me, my knees hurt. Why do my knees hurt? And why are my quads not growing? It's because you're now compensating, dude. So it's like, you could be sitting on that leg extension with all of the focus being on your quads, but that doesn't matter because your brain can't connect to it. And that's the thing. It's quality over quantity, and sometimes quality over intensity. And if you can get a good balance between quality, intensity, and recovery, and manage them all, then you're going to see a lot of growth. But you cannot train like that, bro.
Yeah. And I know we've been on the question for a while now, but another trend that I usually see post summer is this winter arc mentality. And this idea of being the guy in the corner wearing baggy joggers.
Bro, I really vibe with this, dude. I so vibe with it, though.
In the corner, and you're like, next summer, I'm going to be Batman.
Yeah, but they could be.
Winter arc.
But they could be. We don't know.
They could be.
Dude.
But are they?
No, they never are. But I like to think that they could be, though. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, dude, it's the really dimly lit room with the guy in a hoodie, and it's like the like like the Halo music, like all that sort of stuff. Dude, I vibe with it 100%. I'm not gonna lie, it pauses my scroll on Instagram every single time I see a reel like that. I just vibe with that main character vibe, dude. It is my thing.
That answers that trend.
Yeah. Is it a good trend? Is it something to lean down? Maybe not. But, dude, I am fueling the trend. I'm fueling the trend, dude. I'm keeping it alive. Right. Next one is, how has social media changed bodybuilding for better or worse? I feel like we probably addressed that on one little tidbit that I would say as well. Social media, bruh, like, the fitness industry is so full of shite now. And it never used to be as bad as what it is now. But genuinely, if you are on a plan with us, stick with the plan and ignore what you hear online, because generally most advice is all motivated by you buying a product from them of some kind. And it may not seem like it, but they're very clever. And it'll be like, I'll give you this free plan or this free bit of advice. And no, don't pay me. But then the week after, they release some merch or a special supplement, or they've got some coaching spaces available. Be careful. Just be careful. And what sparked your interest in bodybuilding? You feel like we've literally all answered this in on the first question.
I'm going to go into that question actually because, and I mentioned to you in the office the other day, I saw a really interesting reel, and it was this lady sat in her car, and she was talking about how bodybuilding desexualizes the human body, and I just fucking clicked with it so much because when I was first introduced, bodybuilding to me was quite intimidating actually, because it was like this is the extreme of the extreme, and these are like really good looking lads, and like, you know, as you'd probably say when you're, you know, younger, like I was, like fit women on stage. But this video kind of just cleared that all up, and it was the idea of bodybuilding is to go down to an anatomical level of aesthetics. And what it meant by that was you aren't just looking at a nice bum or like a big chest. You're looking at defined pecs. You're looking at muscle mass. You're looking at nice rounded glutes and striations and symmetry, proportion, and how you show off that body. And to me, I was just like, I fucking vibe with that so much because there are so many, especially, well, in my opinion anyway, especially the older generation from being around my mum and my dad, that will look at bodybuilding as this like disgusting, horrible, like, oh, you just want to wear a thong on stage. And they never really look at it at the idea of art and like sculpting. And one person that was really with that ideology, who I will be referencing in my posing routine, is Frank Zane. Frank Zane was very much on the lines of bodybuilding is an art, like ballet is an art, like art is an art. You know, it's this idea of like perfecting a craft and looking at something visually and really going into every single detail. And I just fucked with it so much. Yes, do you get big? That is a positive, of course. What guy does not want to be bigger? But you are looking at your body in such a more intricate way, and also how to show off that physique. And I just fucked with it. It's a vibe. So yeah, that's why I fell into bodybuilding. And I also have like the fucking most handsome coach ever. Joking. Gee, stop.
Stop it.
So yeah, that's why I love bodybuilding anyway. It's just it's a beautiful sport. It really is.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm on that side 100%. I think it's art 100%. I think, yeah, even like we had conversations before about Vicky, right? And her dad being on board with it. And it's like, you have to try and understand that when there's a boatload of bodybuilders in a room, like 400, 500 people, when Vicky is on that stage, they're not looking at her bum for her bum. They're looking at her bum because of her glutes. And they're looking at the symmetry between the glutes and the hamstrings. It's like how much discipline has gone into creating balance across the body. And you know, for me, when I go to shows, I never look at the women there and sexualize. And I you know, you've been there with me. It's like,
Yeah.
fucking hell, man. Like her hamstrings are mad.
Mm.
You know, like you're like, that's crazy, bro. Imagine how much she RDLs. Like you have like an appreciation for it.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I think partly that's why I got into bodybuilding initially, was because I was like, not just that. Of course, we got into it for muscles as well. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
of course we did.
Yeah.
Of course
We're
we did.
guys.
We're dudes. Like, but on the same side, like, I really like the idea of the outcome being specifically based off of my discipline to stick with something. And there are very few things in life that you can walk around and almost showcase to say who you are as a person. So like even with work, right? We're very disciplined with work. I 100% the reason, I think the reason why I'm so disciplined with getting my check-ins over on time, making sure my plans are all set up correctly, all those things, is because bodybuilding has taught me how to be able to do those things, which, you know, work through tiredness, work through, you know, you got all those thoughts going, you could go to bed, but you're like, no, because there are so many times before where I've been there like, oh, I could not go to the gym, but I'll go anyway.
Yeah.
So you kind of learn that the outcome that you want is on the backside of you doing stuff that you genuinely don't want to do. But at the same time, for me personally, I like the idea of being able to display the level of discipline that I have in my life to people visually and be able to say, look, this, like for me personally, the way that I look is a byproduct of me turning up to the gym all the time, you know, and training, even when I don't want to. because if I didn't, I wouldn't look the way that I look now. So I like the idea of showcasing that and showcasing who I am as a person, so people can see that and go like, look, my moral compass and where I'm at right now is that if you motivate me to do something that requires discipline, I will follow through on that. Do you know what I mean? I like that. That's partly for me. And I know it sounds egotistical, but I think inherently why we all start the gym is kind of rooted in some kind of level of egotisticalness in some kind of way. Well, even just going to the gym because you want to look good for your holiday, right? Okay, there is a level of ego there because you want to look good and you want to stand on the beach and you want to be the best looking at the beach. That's fine. That's not bad. Like sometimes having an ego is not a negative thing. It's how you display that ego. For me, I'm not going to like rub it in people's faces that I'm massive and jacked, but I like to walk around holding my chest up high, knowing that I look like someone that has discipline. I like that. It gives me confidence. So, yeah. So that's that.
That sort of like 2 minutes of feeling on stage, that kind of sounds very, very cliche. Sounds quite cringe actually, but that sort of feeling of like euphoria and like I've made it to the top percentile of people on the planet, because I am at a point where rarely anyone else gets to.
Yeah.
The level of discipline it takes to get there, the amount of precision it takes, and the element of like, I have to put some things in my life to a hold at the moment because this is priority. And then when you suddenly get that result, and yeah, cool, you might win, you might place, but just being on that stage and just being able to, like you said, show off your ego, show off the physique, show off the fucking months of graft and all this shit that you've been through to step on stage and be like, this is me, this is what I look like,
Yeah,
this
man.
is what I can do with
Yeah.
my physique. And it's just it's a beautiful thing. It makes me tear up, man. I'm getting fucking teary.
Bro, when I did PCA, right, and that was the second show I did. So I won the UKBFF one, and then I went to PCA, and like I was tired, dude. I was like really done by that point. I had a really bad coach for that year, so like he put me on a boatload of diuretics and stuff that just did not respond well with me. So I was just trying to basically stay alive. But I remember being backstage, and I remember like when I was about to go on stage, and I was like, I'm not in the best shape I've ever been in. I could be better, but I still look good, man. And you know what? I don't give a fuck about the outcome here. Like, I look mental. Yeah, like if younger me saw me now, they'd be like, "What? No way!" Like I would have dreamed about looking like that. So when I walked on stage, I showed up for younger version of me, and I was like, you know what, dude? Like, yeah, like this is. I remember when my body looked a certain way when I was younger, and I now know where I'm at right now, and I'm aware of that, and I'm so happy with just the result there. Whether or not I'm better than Tom or Dave or whatever, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like, I just wanna be up there for me, younger version of me that sat in the front row going like, no way.
Yeah.
And I had them a bet, bro. It's arguably one of the most fun shows I ever did because I was just so chilled out. I was like, yeah, you know what, man, I look pretty sick, and I love that. I love that, and that's a cool thing about bodybuilding is the level of discipline it takes to be able to get up there. And I think the younger version of me would have appreciated that just as much as me now would have been there like, oh my god, you must have been through it to be able to get up there like that.
Yeah.
And that is cool. And yeah, it's a sick, it's a sick sport, man. It's a sick sport. It's really cool. As long as you have a good relationship with it. Like, it's hard to be able to get people to have a good relationship with it sometimes, because I mean, it's not that deep at the end of the day as well. Like, that's the thing. It is deep for us personally, but I think people let it overtake their life completely, become their be all and end all and their identity. And for me, I always like to think of myself as Lewis, and this is a byproduct of who I am. So like,
Yeah.
I am Lewis first and foremost. I have a cool body, right? And some people, they shift that around to be there like, I am the body, and then as a byproduct to the person, and you're like, at that point, it's an unhealthy relationship with the sport.
It's funny you mentioned that actually, because I think it was literally 2 years ago on the 1st of June that you did your last show. I had a nice little flashback come up, and I
God damn.
saw the video on my
God
on my
damn.
phone, and I was like, holy shit,
Yeah, man.
That's incredible. So
There we go,
bodybuilding
man.
is it's a beautiful sport. It is a really beautiful sport.
Mate, going back to video trends, just seen a trend. It's like, the trend that's popping up at the moment being like, hit your prime one more time, bro. Give us your prime one more
I
time. And
haven't
it's
seen
like,
that, no.
dude, it's so good. It's like deep music and it's like, show us your prime one more time. And it's like a guy who's in his like mid 30s and he's like let himself go a bit. Then it cuts to him being absolutely shredded again. And you're like, and I'm there like, is it time for prep?
Nice. Nice. I
But
love that. I love that.
yeah. Anyway, we should move on to the next question.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Right, next question from Shawnee. How to best handle muscle imbalances or struggles with one side of the arms, that's shoulders, than the other? Interesting one. Let you take that one to start with if you want.
I've noticed this actually quite a few times when I do PT sessions, especially. Some people will increase their weight, go to do their reps and their sets, and realize, oh, my left side's actually stronger than my right side. The right side stays down, the left side keeps going, and they end up like this, as if they're climbing a ladder. And for me, the simple answer is, okay, go back down to a weight that you're comfortable moving with both sides of your body and work on that, perfect that movement. And then when you find that that movement's perfected, go up again. And if you go up too much and it isn't perfected, then drop down ever so slightly and keep making gradual increases each time until it's worked itself out.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say the exact same. Exact same. Just kind of work to the weight that both of your arms can do in it.
Yeah.
Or both of the relevant muscle group can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of like an idea that I've pushed on quite a few people in the group PT sessions alone over at the gym, is that you do not need to increase the weight each week. You don't need to do it. You need to get good at a movement first. You need to perfect that movement, perfect that weight, and then you can go up. Otherwise, you go up too soon and injury risk, as we've mentioned there, muscle imbalance, you'll get frustrated with yourself, you'll beat yourself up, you won't want to do it again, and then suddenly you come crashing down off the basis of one exercise. Get perfect on one movement, get perfect at one weight, and then you can go, then you can go up.
Yeah. I think you can start to do unilateral work. So like when you work one side specifically, when it becomes a major issue, but most people's imbalances are not a major issue. So
Yeah, very subtle.
yeah, I think most of the time things will sort of level themselves out naturally over time. But like you said, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Just work on exercise execution. Normally, when there's an imbalance that's showcased, it's because exercise execution at the lighter weight was probably off. So it probably needs to be a readdress of form and function at that lighter weight before moving forward. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, bro. Okay, next one, because we hit that one. If you're considering getting into some events for fun, which ones are good to start off with for beginners to build confidence? I know we spoke about it a bit this morning, but might be helpful to others if they're considering events. There are so many out there, some recommendations might just take some of the edge off choosing something. So I would really like to share an opinion on this one because I think all events are absolutely fine. I think all events are scalable. All events, like people have this thing in their head, right, where you have to be a specific level of fitness for athletics or strongman or powerlifting and things like that. And it's like those events are meant to be there for amateur athletes as well. Absolutely train for it, but you do not have to be elite to be able to go to them. If you want to be competitive, it's a different story altogether. But if you just want to go there and do the event, then go and do the event. They will facilitate that 100%. I've had clients come on board and they're like, I can't possibly do an affix. And you're like, well, why can't you? Well, because I'd be terrible. It's like, why not just turn up and just do one to see whether you like it to begin with? If you like it and you've done it, because anyone can do an affix if you just do a little bit of fitness and you turn up and you don't have that competitive mindset, you're just doing it to have a fun day out of fitness. You can then decide off the back of that whether or not you want to get good at that sport then. You know what I mean? Bodybuilding's a little bit different because obviously, that's you have to be at a certain level of body composition by the time you step on stage because it will be very evident otherwise. But I think with functional events especially, most of them are set up for new people, for beginners. Yeah, and
Mm.
that's like deadly dozen will let you drop out a couple of exercises if you've got any injuries. They'll just simply say like, oh, by the way, we can't include your time in the scoreboard, but are you okay with that? And if you're okay with that and you're not trying to be competitive, then don't worry about it. Or they'll give you a scalable exercise. Same with ATHEX. ATHEX will always facilitate you having a good time. You are paying them to have a good time. You are paying for your entry. So they
Mm.
have to facilitate you having a good time. If you paid for a hotel room, what would you get? You get a lovely hotel room and it's on the hotel to make sure you have a great time. And if you don't, then you put a complaint in,
Yeah.
right? And it's the same with these sports, bro. They wouldn't be able to run if you had to be just professional to be able to do them because they would never get off the ground.
Mm. Even with bodybuilding, yes, there is a standard that you need to get to in order to step on stage and really bring the best to the stage. But that doesn't mean to say that no one, anyone could do bodybuilding. Anyone and everyone could do bodybuilding. They have categories for everything nowadays. The most inspirational ones are the ones that are, for me anyway, when I go onto my feed and I follow federations like PCA and NABA, is when you've got like the masters physique and you've got like 60-plus-year-old men and women on stage looking incredible, and like the junior stuff as well, because like these are young guys that probably haven't got a lot of confidence on a stage, probably have never been on a stage. You've got like your disability class and stuff like that, and it's like they've proven that anyone can do it. And yeah, I'll agree with what you just said there. Like, just try it. Like, events wise, like
Yeah.
functional, like just try it. Like, what is the worst that can happen?
And I think with bodybuilding, bro, the culture is it's a little bit not quite there yet. I think that like the culture in bodybuilding is you have to look like a bodybuilder by at least say you've put in some effort to be able to get up there. I do believe that bodybuilding needs to be a little bit more open-minded with like accepting that there will be some people that might not be specifically shredded on stage. They might just be going because they were 150 kilos and now they are 80 kilos. That's
Yeah,
still incredible. I
yeah.
think there just needs to be this sort of acceptance from the bodybuilding crowd that those people will turn up and that's okay too.
Mm,
And if your client is mad shredded and they put a lot of effort in and they've been competing for years and whatever, then why are you so worried about them anyway? Like they're not.
mm,
If someone's obviously not doing it to be competitive, then you shouldn't have to worry about your client competing against them at that point.
mm,
Maybe just support them in what they're doing, and then you could give them some advice and be there like, hey, by the way, when you come back next time, the other to be honest, most of them will realize the standard when they turn up. Most people do, because we do see people that are not quite shredded enough to be on the bodybuilding stage, and they will turn up and they will look at the other people and go, that's where I need to be then. And then they'll probably go off and then get better and come back again if they've got a good mindset with it, if they've enjoyed themselves. And that could really inspire people to be more involved in the bodybuilding industry. But what tends to happen is people sort of, again, it's not the good side of bodybuilding when they kind of shit on them for it, and you're like, that's not cool, man.
yeah.
It's definitely getting few and far between now. There's a lot of big coaches, a lot of big names that are like, guys, shut the fuck up. These people have gone through an incredible journey to be here. Be quiet. Just accept they're up there, and that's a-okay, and they should be commended for that effort as well. And I think that definitely should be a thing, especially for first timers. Yeah, for first timers, 100%. You could probably be a little bit more critical at the amateur level because they've already been on stage at that point. If they've come back and they're not in shape, then it's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But for first timers, dude, just let them get up there, let them do their thing. Yeah, it might be a one and done thing. It might be a bucket list thing. That's cool. Just appreciate it. So yeah, moving on to the next one. Oh, actually, no, just to round up as well. So any event is good as long as it's about your mindset. Yeah, any event is good. Your mindset. So do an affix, have a bit of fun. Do a tough mudder, have a bit of fun. Do anything you want to do. You can do a strong woman event. You can do a strong man event. You can do a powerlifting event. Just have a bit of fun to begin with, and if you like it, then get good at it and come back and go again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, next one is what are the benefits of TRT in older males and what can improve hormonal balance? Oh, this is a good one. And what can cause the imbalance? So, okay, so there's a lot of moving things here. Number one, guys were meant to function. Our primary hormone is testosterone. It governs pretty much everything in our body, our androgen receptors, everything. So as you get older and your testosterone production does downregulate, because ultimately the signal for your body to reproduce has got a lot less because you've gone past that point in your 20s and 30s where, or even potentially earlier, where testosterone was at its highest because it believes that that is the right time to reproduce, and it starts to go downstream. Um, you should replace that. Yeah, I do believe you should replace that, and I think it's medically backed from so many different sources now that you should replace that, because as soon as testosterone dips down, if you imagine the first formation point of your life was regulated by having adequate levels of this hormone, and that has allowed your body to form all of the male characteristics that make you you today. All of a sudden, the absence of that hormone is not going to make you feel good, dude. Yeah, because that was your primary fuel source. So what you're looking to do on TRT is you're looking to replace what you were already creating, right? So you're just switching your body from automatic into manual. That's all you're doing. So you're not looking to, I think a lot of people see TRT as this entry level of like, oh my God, I'm going to get like amazing gains. You will not get amazing gains if you do not approach your diet and your training program like you would do for anybody else. You are just getting everything back to a baseline, which will allow you better energy, better skin quality, better lifestyle, better energy with your lifestyle, better just overall moods, everything, to allow you to be able to dedicate more of your energy to be able to train better, recover from the training better, progressive overload is going to be much better, all those things. That's what TRT is at a baseline foundation. What causes the imbalances, to be honest, a lot of it is just age related. It's age related. Whether or not it's lifestyle related is still, the jury's out on that one. There are still people that are obese that have got, like, in their 40s and 50s that have got adequate levels of testosterone, but there are people that are perfectly fit that have lived healthy lifestyles, that are healthy across the board everywhere else, that have crashed testosterone. I think it comes down to your body and your body signaling process as to what goes on there. There are factors that can impact your testosterone shutting down, like malnutrition, for example. If you do not feed your body with adequate calories for a prolonged period of time, your testosterone will shut down. If you are poorly and you are not eating enough, then yeah, cool. Your body's not in a healthy position to be able to reproduce anyway. It thinks you're starving, so the last thing it's going to want to do is put you in a position where you can reproduce, because it doesn't think the environment would be good enough for a child to be raised in. So why would it produce the testosterone needed for that? But yeah, generally most of it's age related, most of it's person dependent. I've had guys in their mid 20s that have never touched anabolic steroids in their life. They've never over dieted, and they've got crashed testosterone levels and needed TRT. And I've worked with guys in their 50s that have had 29 nanomole per deciliter testosterone levels, and they don't need TRT. And it's really person dependent. Imbalances wise as well, with like estrogen and like sex hormone binding globulin and things like that, and free testosterone. Again, it is person dependent. Your lifestyle choices can help. I think if you drop your body fat levels down, you will free up more testosterone. If you have adequate nutrition, you will free up more testosterone. But if you've done all those things and it's still a problem, that is your body, and you need to address it and switch it into manual.
Yeah. Sorry, there was just like a really awkward silence there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
dude, TRT is something I'm super fucking passionate about, because HRT
Yeah.
for women has been so promoted for the last 5 or 10 years now as being this like absolute game changing thing. But it's like guys have just been kind of pushed to the side. We're not really taught about TRT that much. And it's sad that like influencers that have had to pay a lot of money to be able to go investigate it have had to make videos to make us informed about it, as opposed to the NHS. But TRT as well. Like I remember like being told like 5 or 10 years ago that TRT is good, but it might shave like 5 years off your life. Like, yeah, your life quality will go up, but you're going to take a bit of your life off of the back end of that. And it's like, okay. And at that time, I was like, fine. Well, maybe it's the right choice for some. Now it's come back as the opposite. It's actually saying, by the way, testosterone actually increases bone density, and as a byproduct of you living a better life, inherently you move more, inherently you do more, and because you're moving more and you're doing more and your bone density is higher and you don't have as high risk of rheumatoid arthritis and osteoporosis, you are potentially staving off things like dementia, Alzheimer's. You're keeping your body healthy. It's a use it or lose it situation. If you're always using it, you're never going to lose it. And it's this kind of like, actually, it will extend your life by 5 years because you are just better and you want to do more because your mental headspace is better as well. You're not depressed all the time. So you want to go out, you want to see your friends, you want to go out for a walk, you want to do all the fun stuff. So yeah, it's actually done a full U-turn. Like, it's actually going to benefit you in terms of longevity rather than take away from your life. So yeah, where is that? Anything you want to add, Jake?
No, nothing from me, man. I think when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like, I love to sit and listen because you have, I mean, yeah, you've got lots of knowledge about that. So it's more knowledge for me to take on board as well, which is really interesting. And yeah, for once enjoying science. Never used to
Yeah, man. And for any guys that wonder as well, like I've been on TRT for 6 years, 7 years now. And yeah, like, to be honest, I had an eating disorder when I was in my early 20s, which shut down my testosterone levels, is what it is. I was bulimic for a period of time. So I had to address it, and actually made a massive difference. And it was probably one of the key landmark moments for me to really investigate into hormones, because it made that big of a difference in my lifestyle and my mindset and my energy levels and how I held myself, that I was like, I need other guys to do the same. So, you know, I'm not talking from a place of just like, oh, this is what I've read. It, like, a genuine experience.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude, we got loads of questions.
I know. I was literally just about to say.
No,
I was like going through them very, very briefly.
Okay.
Should we power through some of these then? If I read them
Yeah. Well, I got one more
or...
from Alex, because he popped one and he said, "Yes, bro, is it okay to get whipped in the gym while you hold onto the treadmill or stairmaster when you're already dead?"
Yes.
I think it's
okay.
okay.
So, yeah, it's fine.
Only if you sexualize it.
Yes. If anyone hasn't seen my Instagram reel, go look at my Instagram reel.
Oh, dude. Okay, let's
okay,
go.
right. I'm gonna fire through these questions. Straight talking answers. Let's go. Okay. So, should you be looking to do extra weight or rep every single time you train? I feel like we've already answered that question already. Lewis, hit it.
Only if you can. You can. That's the goal inherently. But if your exercise execution isn't nailed beforehand, then no. It should go exercise execution is the foundation. If that's nailed, brilliant. The next level up is tempo. Do you have control over that weight? If you have control over that weight and it's you know, you're doing a little pause at the bottom, you're controlling it, it's not wobbling around everywhere. Perfect. Tick that box. Have you maxed out the reps in your set? If you've got a set of 6 to 8, are you at 8 reps? Perfect. Okay. That's a tick in that box. And then right at the top is increase weight. And then you start again. So execution, tempo, reps, weight. Cool. Tick, go up again, and so on and so forth, and just keep going that way.
Cool. Perfect. Next question. On a time scale in the gym, you sometimes find your sets and reps feel empty and not fulfilling. I think what this question is asking is, do I have to bring maybe the same amount of effort each session, and why do they change? Why does it change?
I mean, yeah, you're probably going to feel that way sometimes. Like sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's not glamorous. Sometimes you hit your target and you're like, oh, well, I didn't have to shout for that one. I didn't have to like blast myself to oblivion. But if it's a PB, it's a PB, man. Don't worry about it. But you will inevitably get to a point, if your progressive overload is good enough, that you will get to a point where you do have a fulfilling sat. But sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty, bro. It doesn't have to be, you know, this super grafty set with loads of fight. It can just be a good set with progression and your ticks, and you're fine. Move on.
Yeah, amen. Next question. With ADHD, my mind rarely switches off at night, so sleep is not regular, even though I'm in bed by 8 p.m. every night.
Okay, so addressing that one, I would 110% go to the doctors and mention ADHD. If it's causing you sleep detriment, then I would go to the doctors and actually talk to them about ADHD and potentially look at ADHD medication for that. I don't think ADHD is a bad thing, but when it's impacting your sleep quality, it 100% is, because ADHD tends to get worse off the back of poor sleep, and it's this vicious cycle of like Your ADHD is so bad you can't sleep, and because you're not sleeping, your ADHD is getting worse, and because it's getting worse, you can't sleep even more, and then you're not, and then it's this like circle. It's that cascading event of negative events, effectively. So, a cascade of negative events is what I meant to say there. So, I think what you're better off doing is that with ADHD, and if you wanted to manage it yourself, I would 110% suggest reading. Like, literally grab yourself a book. The good thing about reading is that because it's not stimulating in terms of like a visual stimulation for your eyes and your brain, it's like dopamine release can't happen unless you can imagine what you're reading. So if you're reading a fantasy book, you have to read it and imagine it, which then causes you to stop thinking about other stuff going on in your life. And because you now are focused on not the stressful shit, you'll probably find you get quite tired quite quick within like 10-15 minutes. You make it through like maybe one chapter and your head's on the pillow and you're done. So that's a really, really good way to do it. That's what I would suggest.
And my suggestion for a good book that you want to think about and picture in your mind is Beast Quest. Really good series. Really solid series. Have you ever read Beast Quest?
I think you can tell by my response. I haven't read Beast Quest.
Get some Beast Quest books. I'll get you the series.
What the hell is Beast Quest, bro?
Bro, look at the fucking covers for Beast Quest right now. Google it right now. Right now, Google it. Also, just to answer the last question, been 29 years now. How do I grow a beard like that fine gentleman on my screen? I don't know, bro. Ask Lewis.
TRT, bro.
Two completely different answers, by the way. Mine was patience and perseverance. Yours was TRT. Love that. Pick one. No. Pick one.
Okay, first off, before I address that question, because thank you, Harry. Beast Quest, bruv, what is this? What is this?
When I was in primary school, bro,
it reminds me of like an amped up version of Harry Potter.
Beast Quest was the book to go to, okay?
Bruv.
They look pretty sick, don't they?
I mean, one of the characters is called Arax the Soul Eater, the Soul Stealer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now try to imagine that before you go to bed.
Low key, bro. I'm a World of Warcraft boy. Like, I 100% would have read these, and I probably will read. I probably would read them now. Low key, yeah. Okay, fine. I just don't know what the book quality is like. I've got this picture of it being a really childish book. Do you know what I mean? Like we're talking like maybe 18 words per page, with like a picture illustration.
For my reading ability back then, yeah, that's probably the case. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're into that, guys.
any further questions before we sort of conclude this episode of the podcast?
And by the way, Harry, with the beard side of things, bro, that just literally. I said this to Jake the other day. What? Okay, I didn't have a beard. I didn't have much facial hair in my mid-20s. I would literally have just bum fluff, and I was like baby face the fuck.
This Harry.
And that, dude, it was way worse. It was way worse. But for me personally, like, yeah, I hated it at the time, and now I've got a beard that grows back within hours, by the way, and it looks terrible when it's growing back. I actually miss having a baby face, bro. I miss having like a fresh cut face. I miss it. I miss my youthful appearance now. This thing is just grows all the time. I'm gonna be Gandalf when I'm older, dude. I need a bridge to guard. You shall not pass. You got any small friends? Can take a quest to a volcano.
You take Shah with you. She'll go on a quest with you.
It's true. It's pain with reading for myself is that I have aphantasia. Aphantasia. What is aphantasia? I don't know what aphantasia is. I'm going to Google it. Aphantasia is the inability to voluntarily visualize mental imagery. When asked to picture a loved one's face or an apple, people with aphantasia experience a blank screen instead of a picture. It is not a disorder or disability, but rather a normal variation of human neurodivergence. Well, damn.
Well, damn.
Well, damn. That is, that's crazy, man. Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no, neither.
Well, I mean, dude. I mean, I don't really know what I can give in terms of advice for that, dude. Like, that's pretty hard going. I suppose in a way, then Jake will vouch for this. I fall asleep with like YouTube on.
Oh, fucking
Sometimes if I've had like a really late night, right, I've worked really late and my sleep quality is not good, tap on the wrist, as I've just mentioned about sleep quality. Sometimes in the middle of the day for an hour, I'll have a nap and I will literally blast YouTube on my phone and it will be so loud and I will be dead asleep.
At times, right? Obviously, I'm in the office with Liz for the majority of the day, for the majority of the week, right? So the other day, a video came across your feed and then it replayed. And I thought, oh, Lewis must really vibe with this video or maybe have an opinion with this video, but that he's going to, in maybe 10 seconds' time, go, have you seen this? Like, this is what I think, etc. Then we'll have a discussion. And then I hear the video again and my suspicions, they rise.
Why are you telling this like a fairy tale,
So
bro?
I peer over my PC and I go, what are you doing? And then the video plays again and I go, oh no, I am now trapped in a vicious cycle of hearing this guy talk about whatever the hell he's talking about on loud speaker because Lewis is taking a nap.
Right, okay, listen.
And I rate it. I fucking rate it, dude. The fact that you can listen to your phone at that loud and still sleep, I fucking rate it. And I'm just sat there and I'm like, how? I'm amazed.
Low key, it's because I'm like Lee, I can't switch off, but the only way I can switch off is literally by putting something on YouTube that I zone into. Like I need like something that I can like think about that's not work and not my job, and then that allows me to be able to switch off. And yeah, dude. And I think part of it as well is because I'm obviously so tired because I'll sometimes work stupid fucking hours. But yeah, I've always been like that, dude. When I was a kid, my dad would take me in a car drive when I was a baby, apparently, and it would be a really loud car, but I'd fall asleep in the car. Just how he would get me to go to sleep. So
mental, mate. It is mental. It really is quite unreal.
Also, does TRT mean I won't be bald? Nah, dude, that's in your genetics, whether you are or aren't. I mean, there are things you can take like finasteride, dutasteride, minoxidil, RU58841, things you could use to prevent that. But yeah, it depends. I don't know who It's Jukes it is because it depends on how far your hair's gone. Because if you use minoxidil and you've lost your hair already, it's not going to do much. It is a flight to Turkey. You go see those boys and come back with the best hairline you've ever seen.
Yeah, which will never go.
Dude, I got approached by a hair transplant company and they were like, oh, we could do a collab like a while ago. And I was like,
do I want to expose myself?
dude, right. So my hair's fine. It's thinner than it used to be, but like I feel like if it ever gets to a point, I will do the trip.
Hey, you know that collab that you mentioned to me about 5 years ago?
Yeah, dude.
What's your stance?
Mate, honestly, I'd be on that flight to Turkey straight away. I'll be on a boat. If I have to canoe over, I'd canoe.
Okay. Any further questions before we conclude?
Sean. Yeah, Sean. I don't think it's gonna work, dude. Low key. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Turkey's available.
Turkey is a place.
Also, by the way, low key, have you seen hair systems now as well? Dude, I would so do that before I get a hair transplant. Really? There are guys that I know that have hair systems that you would never even guess, and they can grow hair, but they just don't. Literally, it is a hair unit that is literally built to match the color of your hair.
Also,
and they like adhesive it on with like a special glue that binds to your skin, and then it's just so it's super long, like it's super long, so it's all the way like down to your nipple line. Then you go to your barbers and they just cut it in whatever shape you want. So the guys that I know that have hair literally just do it because they're like, 1 week they want to just have long hair. And they don't want to go through the awkward phase of having to grow it out. So like, yeah, I just want a man bun. So they'll just go and get a hair system and have it in a week. I'm like, fair enough. If it stays on for like 3 months, bro, and you can shower in it, you can go to water parks in it, you go on holiday in it, all that sort of stuff. Why the hell not? My head shiny. I mean, good sign of cleanliness. And low key as well, dude. Like I think the bot. If you can rock the bot, you rock the bold look. You rock it. You look sick with it. Some people don't, but you look mental with it. And as you're getting more jacked, you're gonna like Jason fucking Statham or The Rock. You just gotta learn to talk like him, innit? Like this all the time. Hello, fella. I heard you got a package for me to deliver. Do you know what I mean? At this point, Jake's just sat there like, it's not something he'll ever have to worry about because his dad's still got hair, the lucky fucker.
Oh no, my dad's balding. I've got my mum's genes. I've got these luscious locks.
Awesome.
Wow, that was a terrible hair reveal.
Also, you think... you wait. Those...
You wait.
Dude, those dormant cells will come out eventually. You wait.
They will. But in 3 months' time...
We'll be on a podcast in 10 years' time, right? We'll be working with like Olympia competitors and stuff and things like that, and fucking 1,000 people on the podcast, and then you'll be there like, yeah, man, I've got my mum's genes, and your hairline's like here.
Mum's like, yeah, has the same hairstyle.
What hair you have is good, Jake, but it seems to be moving backwards.
I'm just moving too fast in life, My hair just can't catch up.
Yeah. I just hope the day that I go bald, I just look sick bald. Like Sean looks good bald, bro.
You will.
I just hope that is the case because I don't have to bother going to Turkey. Because some people low key, like Chris. Chris looks good bald, bro. Like that is a guy that looks like.
Well, not only that, like you pull off a hat as well, So you could just wear a hat all the time. You'd be fine.
I want to hide my head 24/7, brother.
If you don't look good bald,
you're telling me I have to hide my head.
If you don't look good bald, yeah. I sit opposite you in the office. That would be some view.
At least you could do your hair. You could look in the reflection.
That's true, yeah. That's true.
You'd be like, oh, got a bit of food in my beard.
Yeah, Lou, stay there.
Yeah, you cheeky bugger.
Okay. Any other questions then, my friend? You got anything else lined up?
No, we've gone through them all on my side, bro.
Nice. I feel like we covered that pretty well. If anyone has any last minute questions they want to pop over, then please do. We'll be more than keen to answer them. Also, for anyone watching, we have a very exciting weekend coming up, don't we? We've got Tracy and Chris going off to the Southwest show for PCA, competing in Masters Physique and Masters Bikini. So very exciting times. Staying tuned for a lot of content about that because their journeys are, wow, more than inspirational. And they both look absolutely fucking sick. So, yeah, expect to see a lot of content about that. Also, if you can make the show, go. Like, it's the most local show to our area for PCA. Go to it. Like, 40 quid a ticket. Just go. You get to see some pretty insane physiques.
It is really cool, man. It's really cool. And it's they're fucking in shape as well, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
They look mental, dude.
They do.
They look mental. They're going to do very well.
Yeah. Very exciting times. Well, given the fact that no one else has popped over a question, I think we will end the podcast there, unless you've got anything else that you want to cover or talk about.
No, I'm all good on my end, bro. All good on my end.
Smashing, bro. In that case, then, we're going to jump off. But obviously, if you guys have any other questions at all, then don't hesitate to message us either on WhatsApp through our group chat. If you're involved in the gym, message us in the group chat or message us privately. Reach out to us on Instagram, drop us a follow, drop us a message. But until then, we will see you on Monday for our morning episode of the podcast. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Much love.
Cool. Much love, guys. See you later.
See you later. Peace.